The round goby is dramatically changing things in the Great Lakes. It invaded the lakes about 20 years ago. Now it's disrupting the food web that supports the lake's bass, walleye, yellow perch, and other sport fish. The consequences could be severe. But the round goby is also working its way up the streams that flow into the lakes, according to Jake van der Zanden, a freshwater ecologist at the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
So when we discovered round goby in some small streams in Wisconsin, it made us start to ask the question of, well, what impacts are they going to have? How many miles of stream in Wisconsin are going to be invaded by round goby? And, is this something we need to be concerned about?
Invasive gobies could threaten trout, bass, panfish, and other native species in the streams. They could also spread to inland lakes.
The first thing we decided to do was go out and sample a wide range of streams throughout Wisconsin. So about 150 sites were sampled by our team.
That team was led by Matt Cornice, then a PhD student at Madison.
The overarching goals of the research are to figure out where they are in these systems, why they're there, are they correlated with certain habitat variables, and to predict where they're going to end up, and then to look at what potential impacts they might have on those systems. We looked at 75 different watersheds, 75 different streams, and found them in 26 of those.
Cornice and an assistant use a portable device that temporarily stuns the fish, causing them to stop swimming for a few moments.
So the electricity will go through the water from the anode to the cathode, the tail, and the water kind of completes that circuit, and anything that's in the water will be temporarily stunned. When we went out and collected our presence-absence data, just looking for where round gobies were in tributaries, we also collected a suite of habitat data, both locally at site-specific data like water temperature, substrate, was it rocky, was it sandy, and what percentages.
The researchers also explored the effects of gobies on the stream environment.
We did an in-stream experiment trying to see what the effects of round gobies would be on a variety of aspects of a stream food web at varying abundances of round gobies. So round gobies can, at any given site, have either a large population, a small population. There's a lot of variability in how abundant round gobies are. What we did is we had 3 different treatments. In a third of these enclosures, we had no round gobies. In a third, we had a low density of round gobies, and in a third, we had a high density of round gobies.
The work involved lots of time in the streams and also in the lab. The team had to measure the fish, determine their age, and tally up the stomach contents. The research has had some surprising results.
All I know is over the last 3 years at most of our sites in the streams, we haven't seen the population level declines in the native species that we would have expected based on what's known from the Great Lakes.
However, Cornice was able to make predictions about what streams are vulnerable to future invasions.
Here's the model predictions for those streams up to the first barrier. And again, these are streams where round gobies could invade without any help from people. Those red streams are where we predict them to end up. And there's about 1,300 kilometers that we predict them to be in at some point based on this model. We expanded that to the entire Lake Michigan basin, which is outlined here in gray, in the state of Wisconsin, just to illustrate that with the aid of people either moving these species around on purpose or by accident, that the range could expand tremendously.
Cornice says it's too early to tell what the ultimate impact of the gobies on these streams will be.
Unfortunately, there's an open ending to this research. 10, 20 years down the line, things will probably become a lot more clear in terms of whether or not round gobies will be super abundant and a really large problem in these inland streams.
Despite the preliminary nature of the findings, the study will help water managers allocate their resources.
Because there are so many priorities on a manager's plate, this research seems to suggest that right now it might be a better choice to use the limited amount of resources on other problems, but to keep an eye open for round gobies in streams in the future, and if possible, to prevent round gobies from invading new systems.
Anglers, boaters, and others can help prevent the spread of gobies by washing their waders, boats, and other equipment when they leave a stream. For more information, see aissmartprevention.wisc.edu. This research is brought to you in part by the University of Wisconsin Sea Grant Institute.